So this kind of blanket statement, I don't think helps move harmony and understanding and solutions forward. And that's, I think, what James Baldwin done. He didn't, with all due respect, he acknowledged the good things that they were doing in terms of social cohesiveness and attempting to, make people stand up for themselves and be responsible and so on, family members and parents and so on, and things of that kind. But he felt that they just went overboard because James Baldwin knew that 3/4 of the things that happened to him in his life were as a result of white people. You say, well, he's just a person who's been conciliated by white people. Well, come on now, Spike Lee, the same thing. If you want to get into races and non-races, and this gentleman and I are obviously having the debate here, Spike Lee is the white man's Afro-American movie producer. I mean, he goes to NYU Film School. He has, who's the fellow who did Raging Bull? What's his name? Scorsese's been his mentor and tutor from day one. Scorsese got all of his contracts for him and everything that he has enjoyed since. So again, from my own experience, I was a good friend of Melvin Van Peebles, a really close friend in Paris. He got all of his help from the French government, from French scholarships that were encouraging filmmaking and so on, and he functioned extremely well in the so-called white, I don't like those expressions, world that I was witnessing at that time, and exhibited none of the later orientations that he adopted in the wake of the Black Panther phenomenon and so on, that I think he found very useful for promoting what he was trying to do later on. But when I met him, he was a totally assimilated person, and not aggressive in any way, form, shape at all, and not militant either. He'd been in fact, he had been in the American Air Force. I think he was, what he told me, he had been in SAC, Strategic Air Command. I think he'd been a navigator or something like that. He was in Europe on the GI Bill, and he was quite comfortable in so-called white society, if you want to call it that. I don't like to use those words, integrated society. So, though these people later become champions of this kind of approach because it suits them in a certain community to promote themselves like that, I don't think that that's necessarily how they got started. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. We don't want to undercut or undermine anything that they have achieved. But the white devil thing didn't appeal to Baldwin. And in that regard, I think he's an honest person. I mean, you have to be balanced in your evaluation of what the situation is. Anyway, as Elijah Muhammad is presented as talking to him on 66, the so-called American Negro is the only reason Allah permitted the United States to endure so long. The white man's time was up in 1913, but it's the will of Allah that the lost black nation, the black men of this country, be redeemed from the white masses to return to the true faith, which is Islam. So you can read those things. What's he really talking about in 1913? I think what he's really talking about is a person called Marcus Garvey, and a Back to Africa movement that developed under the tutelage of Afro-American leader by the name of Marcus Garvey, who was extremely influential from the time of the First World War to the late 1920s, early 30s. I think, unfortunately, you would be correct to say that J. Edgar Hoover undermined him and destroyed him. There's no doubt about that. And J. Edgar Hoover was functioning from the 20s to the late 60s. And that's a kind of frightening thing. 40 years, kind of an American secret police, if you want to call it that. What a frightening thing. They shouldn't name a building in Washington after that guy. He did more to destroy justice in the country than to promote it, and I have no reticence in saying that. But I'm sure he was involved in the Kennedy assassination, and this is a pretty ugly situation that we had there, which I think is not as ugly today as it used to be. But anyway, Marcus Garvey is the person that I think Elijah Muhammad is taking off from in terms of